There are 4 screws holding the carburetor cover. Here, 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 here. There's another carburetor screw cover. Carburetor cover screw here. So there are a total of 5 carburetor cover screws, 4 on the outside and 1 on the inside. To remove the carburetor cover, we need to detach it from the fuel box device. So I'm going to call this the choke linkage nut here. And I'm removing that so I can get the carburetor cover off. Now the choke butterfly valve linkage is released from that nut. Now the carburetor cover can be removed. It has to slide out from this little hook here. This is the carburetor rebuild kit. There's the carburetor gasket, the base plate gasket, and these other 3 pieces, and various rubber grommets and washers. So I'm going to call this the needle valve cover, which has 3 screws, and I'm going to take that off. Okay, upon removing this cover, we see that there's a spring. And this rubberized gasket. So we've got the needle valve cover and its parts bagged and labeled, and that came from here. Next, I'm going to remove the needle valve. That's this one here. That's going to take a number 10 wrench to remove the needle valve. Okay, to remove the float, I'm going to attempt to remove the pin that's holding the float inside. Okay, if you give this pin a little push from this side, it'll come out and you can remove it. There's the float. Pin removed with the pin valve hanging. And we're going to remove that and replace it from the kit. Now I'm going to unscrew the remaining piece of the pin valve. Now I can remove the old gasket. Next, I'm going to remove this bolt to get to the old filter. Okay, we're going to remove this bolt, and inside we find the old filter. Now the carburetor cover is ready to be dipped. Here we can see the action of the throttle. Opening the primary and then the secondary. Now we're going to remove the 4 screws here to what the French manual is calling the pump cover and the pump membrane underneath. Now the 4 screws are removed from the cover, and we're going to remove this, and we'll see the membrane underneath, and that can be removed. And there's another spring. It does have an O-ring to be replaced, which is found in the kit. Next, we're going to remove the air jets here and here. These are the air jets from the top of the carburetor body here and here. Next, we're going to remove the primary and secondary jets here. Next, I'm going to remove the idle adjustment screw here. Next, we're going to remove the tuning screw here. There's the tuning screw, which came from here. Now the carburetor is ready for its dip. Okay, here's the carburetor cover, nice and clean now. And the carburetor nice and clean. Okay, now I'm going to put the air jets back. Now I'm going to put the clean fuel jets back. Now I'm going to put the new carburetor filter back with its bolt. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now I'm going to take the O-ring off the tuning screw. Here's the tuning screw with the new O-ring. I'm going to put it in. Now I'm going to take the O-ring off the idle adjustment screw. And there's the O-ring off the idle adjustment screw. And there's the idle adjustment screw with its new O-ring. Now we're going to place that in the carburetor. Now we're going to put the new gasket in place. Now we'll put on the float with the pin valve. and reinstall the pin. Before replacing the carburetor cover, you have to make sure this hook is through this loop here. Now we put in the 5 carburetor cover screws, 1 inside here, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with the tag. Now I'm going to replace what I'm calling the needle valve cover. Okay, now I have the new pump membrane, and I'm going to install that here and replace the cover.
Puppy guard. Someone's there. And then there are no stairs. Yes, there are. It's just here. No. There are stairs. So you probably touch.
Okay, now we need to turn this plastic nut back onto this threaded linkage. Okay, now we're going to put a new O-ring on the solenoid. Okay, now we've got the new O-ring on, and we'll screw it back in place.